Hello, my name is Luisa, a U.S. Army veteran, and I'm a Shiro ambassador. I joined the military in 2007 as a signal soldier in the Florida National Guard. So my job has differed from being an enlisted soldier in the Signal Corps to being a logistics officer in Fort Hood, Texas, Afghanistan, and working for the contracting command for the U.S. Army. And then towards the end of my career, I went into the special operations branch to be a civil affairs officer, using the expertise that I have in foreign languages and culture to help our country in foreign countries, which happen to be Colombia. So if you haven't gotten it yet, I'm of Colombian descent. I lived in Colombia in my childhood, and while I was living in Colombia, it was a very tough time because there was a lot of narco-terrorism. And one thing that stuck with me that I would see was US soldiers helping out the community. And this is something that, being American born and being an American citizen, I wanted to do since I was very young. And so when I joined the military, I wanted to be able to do that same work that those special forces soldiers were doing in South America as an adult. So the world took me, into the logistics corps, where I'm not gonna say it was easy, but as someone, coming in from no military background in the family, from being a first generation American in the family, and then also going into units in a leadership role, like as a lieutenant, immediately deploying 3 months after landing to my first active duty unit in Fort Hood, Texas, was very challenging. But one of the things that I would always see is, to the left and to my right, there was always people willing to help. Right? There was challenges. Yes, you're going to face challenges because guess what? You're going to be a minority, and you're the majority of the people within the military. Within that 1% that joins the military, we have 14% that are women, right? Within that 14%, the pool goes down on how many officers they are, especially officers that are Latino, Black. So coming in there, I wanted to make sure that I was fit, because that was the first thing that people were going to see. Can you pull your own weight? Yes. Second thing is, can you do your job? Are you knowledgeable in what you're doing? Yes. And one of the things that I absolutely loved while I was in the military is being able to mentor other people. I'm not going to say I knew it all at 23 or 24 years old as a second lieutenant. But it builds you to grow up a little bit faster. Grow up a little bit faster because you're gonna have people under you that their lives depend on the decisions that you make. So it's extremely important for me to bring everything full circle. Mentorship, being able to hear anybody that's around me to ensure that the team either makes it their mission or makes it home safe. So during that first duty station, I deployed to Afghanistan after preparing 72 logisticians to deploy an inland cargo transfer company. As soon as I arrived, not even a month in, the XO was fired, and I picked up the responsibilities of executive officer, which means that I ran the operations of this transportation company in 2014 during the retrograde of all Eastern Afghanistan. And I'm saying that I managed it, but many of the people, of the soldiers that worked with me in all these 7 different outstations, were the ones doing the work. And you know what? The most inspiring part of just having the passion of doing what I'm doing, or being the leader that I am, is the effort that these soldiers put into it. Both male and female alike, it's inspiring, right? So moving on from that, returned back. I knew that I wanted to do something else. I wanted to move to a new duty station, but get a different type of mission. I got picked up to be a general's aide for the Army Contracting Command under General Hoskin and General Pardue. It was an absolute honor to do that because you don't see a lot of women general's aides, right? You're gonna see this stacked combat arms dude that's like crushing everything. But for them to kind of look beyond me being a Latina in with a logistics background, they said she can get along with people. She has the drive, right? She manages different languages. But just that in itself helps me as a leader to bring in the next person. Who's next? Who's gonna come, take my role? I could do it. The next person can do it. And so that experience was absolutely incredible. I traveled the world. I got a bunch of coins. It was truly exciting, and I felt truly blessed to even be able to meet the amount of women leaders that I met in that organization, right? It just kept building my inspirations. My soldiers and my logistics unit built my inspiration to be better, do better, make sure that I'm a good leader to them, and I'm fair and impartial, and they trust me for me to provide that mentorship, right? To this day, I continue to talk to every person that I made an impact in their life, or they made an impact in mine. It doesn't have to be daily, but I stay in contact with those folks, and that's the greatest thing about the military. Anywhere, any state that I go, I can reach out to somebody, and I know that they're gonna be there. When I finished my tour as a general's aide, I said, okay, what's next, right? So me being me, I said, I want to try it for civil affairs, because if you remember, taking it back to when I was a child, I wanted to be in Colombia. What's the way that's going to get me in Colombia to help my people? Using the expertise that I have is being in civil affairs. I went through the pipeline. As a class leader with very alpha personalities within the Special Operation Corps, right? Being able to have the confidence to go through that, it's like, no, I deserve to be here. I deserve to be here. And telling yourself that every day, even though nobody else around you looks like you. So we have 1% of the population in the United States join the military. Within that, you have 14% that are women. And then within special operations, the percentage that you have that are women is around 0.5%. So being part of that, it gave me even more of a motivation to look around and see, hey, we could do it. Let's go. Let's keep going. And so I'm not going to say that everything is peachy, like jumping out of planes, hitting your head repeatedly amount of times, the amount of stress, the amount of late nights that you have to stay up, the amount of hip pain that I have to this day for the amount of ruck marches that I've done. I'm not gonna say that everything was perfect, but many of those experiences have led me to be the person that I am today, the resilience that I have today. And so this is something that, I think that a lot of people overlook the amount of effort that women have to put in to be right there with their male peers. Because we have to put in the work to be valued within an organization and ensure that we pull our own weight, and we can do it. So I am very honored to be an ambassador for the Shiro Club this year, and I look forward to seeing you all. Stay true to yourself. Peace out.